Hey everyone, we're back. So the first video I'm going to talk about is all about being diagnosed, because for me it was the vital part to getting help. And it took me a very long time to get diagnosed, so I want to talk all about it. And hopefully if you're watching this and you're going through the same thing and you're waiting for a diagnosis and you don't know what to do, I'm hoping some of these things will help you know how to get that diagnosis. So let's crack on. So I'm 28 in a few weeks, and I've had stomach problems since I was in primary school, and it kind of got worse as I was going through secondary school. And we dabbled with like food because we thought maybe it's like a gluten intolerance because my dad's gluten intolerant. So we dabbled with food, and as I got into college it was getting worse and worse, and then when I hit my 20s, that was it. Like, it was out of control. And I spent years going to doctors, and they were telling me, it's IBS, they were telling me to take like peppermint tablets and everything, and I didn't want to disagree with the doctor, so I just went with what they said. Nothing was working, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And then it kind of got to a point where I was living with friends at this point. I think I was like 22 or 23, and I'd gone to the toilet for half an hour. I was in agony, I was crying, it was so painful, and I literally crawled out of the bathroom, and my friends were like, this is not IBS, like, you need help. So that's when I thought, right, I need to do something. So I spoke to both my parents, and I asked if we had any kind of stomach issues in the family that maybe I had inherited. And my dad told me that we had Crohn's and ulcerative colitis in our family. And at this point, I didn't know what it was. So I Googled it on the NHS website. And the best place to go to is the NHS website because they are accurate. Whereas, if you Google things, they're going to tell you you're going to die in 10 days. So don't do that. So I found out all about it. I read the symptoms, and I thought, this is literally my life. Like, this has to be what I've got. It's in the family. I have every single symptom. And I remember people saying to me, oh no, it's not going to be Crohn's, that's really bad. Like, that's a really bad illness, you don't want that. And I thought, well, I don't want it, but I'm pretty sure it's what I've got. So I went to the doctors, and it took a bit of a struggle, but I went there and said, look, right, these are the symptoms I have. This is Crohn's. This is what I've got in the family. Crohn's or colitis. It's going to be either one. Like, can we take things further? Because I'm really not struggling. I'm really not coping at the. And then I got a specialist, and I thought, yes, finally, like, things are finally starting to happen. I had so many tests done in the hospitals for like days and on end. I had a colonoscopy, which is a camera in your bum, MRI scans, so many stomach exams and everything, and nothing came back on the tests, anything. And I thought, how can I be this ill? And it's saying that I'm fine on all these tests. Like, what is going on? And then I was left again. So I didn't have any medication. I wasn't having help from the doctors again. And I just felt so helpless. And it's awful because you're going through these symptoms every single day. Like, I couldn't leave the toilet, in order to be able to leave the house, I had to take a packet of Imodium a day, which isn't healthy at all, but I had no choice. So we got to a point where Mum and I went back to the specialist, and we asked for a second opinion. And you are completely within your right to ask for a second opinion. And don't get me wrong, doctors, and they work so hard, but I think with stomach issues, it can be really hard to be diagnosed, and it does take a long time because kind of there's so many things that are similar. Like, IBS have similar symptoms, but Crohn's is a lot worse, but they have kind of similar symptoms. So it can be really hard for doctors to diagnose. So if you feel like you're not getting the help that you need, then don't feel bad about asking for a second opinion. Just, you don't need to be horrible about it. Just say, like me and my mum did, look, we just want a second opinion, please. And that was it. And then I got so I live in Cornwall, and they sent me to London, the London University Hospital, and he literally was the one that diagnosed me and just changed my life. So I spoke to him, I had like an appointment with him and spoke to him about it, and he wasn't convinced as much that it was Crohn's or colitis, but because nothing's shown up on the tests and everything. But he said, right, I'm gonna, he's like, you're so convinced and it's in your family, so we're gonna do it anyway. Within 2 months, I was diagnosed. It was like January, February last year. But then my doctor here wanted to make sure that's what it was. So I had to go through the colonoscopy again. And then he diagnosed me again. It was like and it was last year, like the end of last year, that he found out. And the main thing for me, I have microscopic colitis. So that means that it can only be seen under a microscope. And when they take a colonoscopy, so they put a camera in your bum, and then they take something called a biopsy, which is where they get like a little like knife thing, and they cut out a bit of your insides. It's not as bad as it sounds. Honestly, it doesn't hurt at all. You can feel it, but it doesn't hurt. And then they go to the lab and test it, and if that's got inflammation in it in your large intestine, then that is microscopic colitis, and it doesn't show up on any kind of colonoscopy, whereas Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, they all show up on a colonoscopy and you can see the insides and it's all full of blisters and everything else. But microscopic colitis is, yeah, it can only be seen through a microscope, so that's why that is so hard to be diagnosed, and it took me so long to get one. So if you're worried and if you're thinking you might have that, then I strongly that you have a colonoscopy and biopsies taken, because that will get you diagnosed if you think it could be microscopic colitis. So if you're going through what I was going through and you're waiting for that diagnosis, the things that I would really recommend to you are, one, trust your body. You know better than anyone what your body's going through. And it would help if you could find out from your family if you've got any Crohn's or colitis in the family, because then that can help you go to the doctors and say, right, we've got it in the family, and then that will hopefully help them test you quicker. And also, don't be afraid to ask for a second opinion, because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be diagnosed right now. I'd still be waiting for diagnosis. So I really hope that this video has helped you, and if you ever want to talk, you need someone to talk to, comment, message me, and thank you so much for watching. And the next video is going to be about symptoms, because I've had lots of messages asking all about symptoms and talking about them. So that'll be the next video, which I'll be putting up tomorrow, hopefully. So stay tuned for that video tomorrow, and I really hope this has helped you. If it has, comment, or you can, start talking about your experiences or anything to help other people, comment, and please subscribe, like, and we just want to get the word out to help as many people as we can. See you in the next video.